Hey everybody, Arthur here with another unboxing video. Today we have Marvel Legends series, the Uncanny X-Men Iceman from the Marvel 80 years, and it is the vintage wave if you can't tell already because of the card, and that card looks awesome. I love the artwork right here, shows the figure, what you'd expect from the figure, but I really love this artwork in the card. It's makes me not want to open it, but I'm not called unboxing art if I'm gonna keep it in the freaking box. So let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging a little bit more. On the back we got a creepy looking image of Iceman. That's some like weird alien looking Iceman going on there, and we do have some read up information, so definitely feel free to pause it to read that information. We also got the rest of the wave, and Storm I did pick up. Wolverine I passed on because I just didn't really care for that look, even though he goes with Silver Samurai. The Dazzler was a must-have for me. Picked up Iceman, and I did do the review of Silver Samurai already, so if you haven't checked it out, definitely go back and check out that review. And then Cyclops I had to pass on. I just wasn't feeling the figure. I mean, leaving big gaping holes in his face for the blast effect, and I just, meh, it could have been done so much better. Plus, down the road, we'll probably get the Jim Lee version with those effects, and that's really the version I like the most. So let's go ahead and get Iceman out of the package. We got Bobby Drake out of the package, and he does look like Iceman. And he does come with an accessory, and you guys are hearing me right. I am saying an accessory. He comes with one accessory, and this is it. This is it. The sculpt looks amazing, but it is a poor execution of an ice effect, a ice slide, whatever they were trying to do. Hasbro, you guys dropped the ball on this. You guys let your packaging restrict what you guys could do with an effect. Again, the sculpt looks great. I mean, if this was bigger, I'd be super happy. But how can you come out with a vintage wave and not even get to the vintage level? Because when I picked up the original Iceman as a child, his ice slide was a nice chunk of plastic. It looked great. I didn't get something that looks like a foot. Like, this looks like the heel of a shoe. And if you're going to be doing this, why don't you give us alternate hands for the figure? Why only fists? Why not alternate hands? Why not effects? Like, let me take him out of the way so you guys can really look at that picture. He has some cool beam effects as he's projecting it to make the ice slide. Why couldn't we have something that went over his hands that were like shooting ice out or something? Or go back to Marvel vs. Capcom or X-Men Children of Atom, give him like big old ice mace like hands, like weapon hands and stuff like that. You didn't. You gave us a very weak-ass excuse of an effect ice slide, and it's disgusting, especially when people are spending $22.99 at GameStop because they can't find these figures elsewhere, and it's just freaking robbery. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it why you couldn't just give us small. You have the molds for a lot of things. Even if you gave us some reused effects, like, come on. It's Iceman. He's an iconic character of the X-Men. You should have gave him more love. That's all I'm saying. Anybody watching this, comment down below. What do you guys think? Do you think you should have gave us a bigger ice slide, better effects pieces? I mean, lay it all out in those comments. If you really like the figure and you think it was worth the $20 or $22.99 that you spent, comment that down below as well. Like, let's get a conversation going. Now we got Iceman up close and personal, and his head sculpt isn't horrible. I know a lot of people have been sort of ragging on it. It's not horrible. Sort of feels like, I don't know, he has this giant face, but like his top of his cranium and all that stuff just doesn't fit it. But it doesn't look bad. What stands out the most to me, especially through, before I even opened it, he has this like, from the marbling of the plastic, and I see a lot of people have it, there's like a line that goes down and like splits his head almost in half, and you can see it, that darker line. There we go. See how the light hits it? It stands out like a sore thumb a little bit, but I mean, I'm nitpicky, but it's an issue I guess a lot of people have. His eyes are painted well. His little smirk, I think it looks all right. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it definitely it's Iceman. I like the plastic they used. I wish it had a little hint of blue, a little bit. But I don't even know if there's any paint. It looks like it could have been, it's just more like pearlescent plastic that they're using. If they didn't and they dry brush some of this silver on there, it would have been cool in like a pearlescent blue plastic maybe, or pearlescent dry brushing. But it doesn't look horrible. I mean, this is really what we get. It's weird, the little joints on the top are actually solid like color plastic instead of like the matching of the rest of them. His belt is pretty much perfect. A little bit of issue at the bottom of the X, but it's pretty much perfect. It's probably like a 95% or 98 or whatever you want to classify it. When you get to the thighs, just like a lot of issues with figures, this plastic does not match the rest going down, and you can really see it on camera. This is like a whitish pearlescent. This is almost like a purplish hue to it. You guys can see it. I know I can see it because I'm looking on the camera. That's unfortunate. And he does have actually feet this time that are in boots as opposed to just his toes hanging out compared to the other Iceman that we got. So figure overall, my opinion, I'm okay with it. It's not bad. I wish the line wasn't going through, but as I'm looking at it more and more, it doesn't stick out that bad. And I mean, if he's ice, I'm sure it's going to have some imperfections in it. Articulation wise, he can look down quite a bit. He can look up a lot. And when he looks up, I mean, he definitely have that gappage. You can really see all that there. You get the left, get the right, and then you get some attitude. And with Iceman, you got to have attitude. I'm just saying, you got to have attitude with him because he's a little jokester there. Arms can go up this far. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, wrist rotation as well, and a wrist bend. One thing that I really like about this figure, they kept with the butterfly joints. You got to have butterfly joints, and I love it. I love butterfly joints. I just love the actual ability to have the extra set of articulation going on, you know. Sort of get them into some good boxing, punching, whatever you want to do poses. It just allows a lot more, and especially when it's sculpted and it looks nice like this, it's a nice looking figure. Ab crunch, you can go back quite a bit. It doesn't look bad. No huge gap in the front. I was gonna say gaping, but yeah, no gap on the front. And then on the back, still looks pretty good. It gives him a little bit of that hunch, but not horrible. And it does, again, look good. He does not seem to have a waist swivel. Let's see if I can. Let's see, I'm sliding up his belt. He does have, there it is. The belt was actually blocking the waist, and when he turns, he does get a little bit of bookshelf hips. But again, I'm going to be bringing his belt back down where it needs to go. And that's crazy. His spine line, like the back line goes straight down. Almost looks like he has like a six-pack on his back. If you can see like how it's sort of like there's lines going across, but very subtle. Might be just the plastic innards. But he has a line that goes down and it just goes down to his crack. Like it's just perfect. Perfect butt crack line. Then we get into his legs. That's as far as he can do the splits. So don't be expecting full Van Damme out of it at all. He can do a nice kick. And actually, when I'm touching these legs, they feel the slimy, slick, gooey plastic that you wouldn't really want in a figure like we got last time. Because the rest of his body feels all right. His arms don't feel super gross or whatever. But it's just that weird plastic they use for this part down here. So thigh cut, double jointed knees. We do get the boot swivel that breaks up and looks just gnarly when you have like the weird piece like that sticking up. Then we get the ankle bend and the pivot. And again, all the like joints and stuff are just a solid plastic like color as opposed to like the pearlescent. So that sort of stands out. I'm glad they didn't do it with like all the peg holes. The peg holes like right there are gray. Actually, they did do it with all the peg holes. I thought they, it's weird. Like some of it, I guess it blends in, but when you're looking on these sides, they're just the big chunks of gray plastic. Wah, wah, wah. This is dumb. This is super dumb. And I posed it this way because I was trying to add logic to it. I would almost assume that it would like you'd start it off almost like you were getting on a skateboard. If you ever skateboarded before, you know, he's sort of starting with one foot. He's using the effect there, and he's going to push off with this one to start the sort of the slide or whatnot. It holds him up. It poses, but he doesn't have his open hand to make sure that he's casting this ice. What in the heck? Like even if you were to bring him up. And look at the mangle in his foot. Like he doesn't even have another peg hole. And even if you're like, that's crazy. Let me try something here. Getting a little flustered and frustrated together. Is frustrated. Yeah, like, okay. I mean, I guess this maybe isn't an ice slide. Maybe it's just a normal base for your figure to stand on. Because that's what this really looks like. This does not look like he's doing any effect or anything. He's just standing on ice. What the fuck were they thinking? Like, that is the stupidest shit that I have seen. Like, what is this? What is this? Like, you can go and buy some, like, Play-Doh, clay, plastic. You can just go melt a freaking 2-liter and get yourself a better freaking ice slide than that. Don't recommend going out there and starting fires, kids, if any kids are watching this. But still, like, this is stupid. I'm sorry. And if anybody is like, oh, it's great, you're just being overly picky. No, if you like this shit, this is on you. Like, you're the reason why we get stupid crap like this. Now it's comparison time. We got the first Iceman that we got over here, along with the vintage. And this one definitely does feel like a thinner, cheaper plastic, but I still like it. Let's bring them in closer so let the camera focus on these faces. They both have their little bit of smirkiness and attitude. Both have the butterfly joints. This guy's super, super lean. This guy has a little bit more girth to him, which I like. Because he's super, super scrawny. And they both have that different translucent plastic from the hips down, the thighs down, should I say, that stands out like a sore thumb. I do like this Iceman, though, because they did add some sculpt love to his hands. The little edges right here. He had the back piece that can come on or off. Like, and he has open hands. He has a open hands. Fist hands. This guy at least has an open hand. Like, come on. Both have butterfly joints here. I wish he had the belt. But, again, like, both these Icemen, they're good Icemen. I'm not going to deny it. Like, these figures in hand, I really was skeptical about this Iceman. You can see the crazy line going down his head, which that's the only thing that really bugs me out of this. Besides the missing the alternate hands and stuff. Like, if he had alternate hands, the head didn't have the line going through it, I'd be okay with this. It's straight up, you know, even though I would prefer a little bit of blue to him, it sort of makes up with this one. So, I mean, if these two could just, like, blend together and have a baby, we would have, like, an ultimate Iceman. Both these are good, but they're not perfect. So you want that vintage Iceman, have him in there. You like this Iceman? I mean, I'm keeping both. I was thinking one would replace the other, but I still do like this style of Iceman. And I do like a vintage Iceman as well. So I like them both. So I just wanted to do the side by side because you can see they went with the blue transparent plastic. And they probably saw that it was okay, you know, with the translucent. They just wanted to go with a little bit different buck and try a different style to match more closer to the vintage way. Even though the vintage straight up was translucent, but I guess they just didn't want it to be all crazy and creepy like this one. Because you can really see the inner connectors and stuff, which sort of takes away from the figure a little bit. So I figured it out. That piece wasn't for the vintage Iceman. It was for the original Iceman that some people didn't even like. Because this guy actually can pose up on it. It doesn't look horrible. Sure, it could be bigger. Sure, this could lead into a better ice slide if you customized and like attached it and made it go crazy. But he actually crouches down and looks nice on it, and he has the open hand. It just seems like this is the fit. I'm not giving this a pass at all because this is still weak as can be, but this looks a lot better, because this guy unfortunately just doesn't have the hands to make it look like that. He never puts his fists together to do his effects. He always has an open hand to do that. But that sums up my unboxing review of the Marvel 80 Years Vintage Wave Uncanny X-Men Iceman. If you guys like what you saw, hit that thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe, because I'm going to be pumping out content as quickly as I can. And I want you guys to also hit that bell notification so you know when I post a video, because I'm not sure if you guys get it without clicking on it. It might just end up in your favorites feed or subscription feed. I'm not too sure how that all works. So I want you guys to also check out Toyco Toys and Collectibles. The website's down below. Amazing website. Promo code's still good. Free shipping on what you order from the website delivered to your doorstep. And don't forget to join up with the Facebook groups. You got the Toyco community. You can interact with your fellow collectors, talk figures, trade figures. You're new to collecting, jump in there, just have fun. You got the pre-order group. Definitely join in that one. You get to know what's coming out, and Andrew does trump pre-order pricing on anything I've ever seen. So if you're normally a person that gets it from Big Bad Toy Store, Megalopolis, any Entertainment Earth, any of those, check out the Toyco pre-order group, because those prices are amazing, and the prices he shows, those are shipped as well. So definitely check that out. And if you guys are wanting to find a nice Facebook group to join up with, looking for other fellow collectors to also, you know, have that nice family feel to it, check out Plastic Cannibals. That's my group, and we're a small group, and it's sort of like a private group that we all look out for one another across the country to help try to find figures that we may not be able to get in certain areas, but other areas can get it. It just makes it a lot easier. And plus, we like to show off collections, figures, and just have a good time. So definitely check out Plastic Cannibals as well. So I want you guys to have the best luck hunting, keep on collecting, and have a